Feel the rhythm deep in soul. Selector never growing old.
1 2 1 2 radio culture. Yes, indeed. Blessed love people, welcome to the show. Today, it's going to be very interesting. Before we start the show, however, you notice that I did not play an intro. This is because, people, I'm going to introduce you to my new intro. The new intro for Reggae Reverbs with yours truly. And I also have an outro which I'll show you. Today, I'm going to start by playing the entire intro. And then as we go along, in future, you will not be hearing the entire intro, of course. You'll be hearing just part of it, but I'm going to play the entire song. This is now the official intro for the show.
Under the sun we warm, in the cool of Rastaman storm. Hear the drums start to hum. Kwasi come, we feel the strum. Kwasi Bako, oh so true. Rasta roots, me and you. Kwasi Bako, here I play a song, set us free. On the streets where the children play, Rastaman song leads the way. Feel the beats in our heart. Kwesi Bako, where art thou? Kwesi Bako, oh so true. Rasta roots, me and you. Radio culture. Play your song, radio culture. On the streets where the children play, Rastaman song leads the way. Feel the beats in our heart. Kwesi Bako, where art thou? Kwesi Bako, oh so true. Rasta roots, me and you. Kwesi Bako, hear our plea. Play your song, set us free.
Retain radio culture, your number one internet radio station.
Harmony we share, jamming on the starry skies. Rasta vibes, no disguise. Kwesi Bako, oh so true. Rasta roots, me and you. Kwesi Bako, hear our plea. Play your song, set us free.
I say, retain radio culture, your number one internet radio station. Me say badding, up to the time.
Yes, that is the official new intro of the show. Now, here is the official new outro for the show.
I say, retain radio culture, your number one internet radio station. Me say badding,
Roots and culture every night. Sound systems taking flight, guided by just holy light. Jah beloved, the best around. Every tune is a sacred sound. Dance floor rocks, we feel the ground. In his beats we are all found.
radio culture,
Reggae music spells so sweet. Feel the sun in every beat. Selector with the Midas touch. Every rhythm means so much.
Life and love and songs we crush. God's blessing we sound. God beloved, the best around. Every tune is a sacred sound. In His beats we are all found.
All right. So that is the official one. But there is also another one, and I want listeners to help me choose. All right. Because the official outro is between what you just heard and this one coming up. Tell me which one you like.
Spinning vibes, oh so bold. Feel the rhythm deep soul. Select another baseline, don't unite. Roots and
Making you feel sexy and fresh.
sound systems taking flight. Guided by just holy light. Jah beloved, the best around. Every tune is a sacred sound. Dance floor rocks, we feel the ground. In His beats we are all found. The dance all where we meet. Rubber dub beats, Jah beloved we greet.
Charlie, me, it be like me, I make up my mind already. Oh,
Feel the
I don't know about you, but I think I made up my mind already.
so with the Midas touch.
Delibote.
Rhythm means so much.
Delibote.
Loving songs we clutch.
Yeah.
Blessings we feel such.
All right then.
Beloved, the best around. Every tune is a sacred sound. Dance floor rocks, we feel the ground. In His beats we are all found.
Let me know how, whichever way you can, which I don't know which platform you're listening to me right now, whichever platform you're listening to me right now on, you know how to communicate. Let me know which one is your favorite. The first one is established. That is the intro. There's no question about that. The outro is between the second one and this one that I just played. Let me know which one you like. All right. Just say 2 or 3. Right, that's all you have to do. If you like the second one, just put 2. If you like the third one, just put 3. That's all you have to do. All right, then, blessed love, let's get into it right now. Make we deal with the matter. Yes, straight into it. 1 2 1 2. Once again, radio culture. All right, my name Kwesi. No, this is not Kwesi Sonbako. That's Kwesi Sonbako, the journalist. This is Jah Beloved right here now. All right. That said, let's jump straight into it. Let's seriously jump straight into it, because today's issue seems trivial, but is by no means trivial at all, if you ask me. And what do I mean? This is what I mean. Many years ago, I'm saying many because it has been some years. Luciano, reggae superstar Luciano, went on an interview in Jamaica and did mention some okay, I'm on air, I'm live. Don't be calling this number yet, please. Don't call the number yet. Let me give the signal first. Thank you. All right. So yes, Luciano went on an interview and made a comment which has actually had more impact than I think he intended it to. All right. And I was speaking with my guest today. He's going to be coming up in a minute. But I was having a discussion with him, and then we both agreed that Luciano didn't even seem to that was not the import of what he was saying, is what I mean. Right? That was just like a stray bullet. That was like a side issue to what he was actually saying. Luciano was making a point about how some Jamaican artists are big, or they seem like they're big. They think they're big in Jamaica and whatnot. But if you go to other countries, people don't even know them too much like that. And he was giving the example of Africa, where they have their own superstars. And he gave the example of Ghana, where they have people like Stone Boy and Shatawale, right? The unfortunate part for me is when he made a comment to the effect that only God knows what Stone Boy is singing about, and then chuckled after that. Personally, I've watched that video many times. I've written an article on it, on this issue that I'm telling you about. That was written many years ago. I did not even expect it to reignite. But here we are once again, right? Many years after that. That article, by the way, is on www.ghnewsnow.com. If you go there, it was published many years ago, so you may probably have to search, right? Go in there, search, just put Luciano in the search once you are in ghnewsnow.com, and the article will pop up, I believe, right? Thing though is, as we speak, that site is under maintenance, so I think it's about 3 hours left for it to go to be reconnected. So yeah, go there and check it, right? But then again, let me take that opportunity to announce that we are also live on modernghana.com. If you go on ghnewsnow.com and you don't find us, or you see that the site is under maintenance, please head for modernghana.com and you will still get this program. modernghana.com, search Radio Culture and you will get us. Also, we are live on YouTube right now as we speak. Okay, so where did I leave off on that one? Namekase. So we both agree that Luciano didn't really set out to slight Stone Boy. That's not my understanding of the interview as I listened to it. But the unfortunate part is when he made that one single liner comment. And then the body language with which he made it is what made it unfortunate. But that was many years ago. So I asked myself, why has this issue reignited all of a sudden after all these years? Why is it that all of a sudden, anytime I go on any social media platform, I'm seeing some type of and I'm seeing it as an attack. Honestly, let's call a spade a spade. Some type of attack on Stone Boy and his patois. Okay? I feel like it's a very unfortunate discussion for many reasons. Also because this same thing has been reposted by many people who I respect a lot and would otherwise not believe would go down that tangent, right? This issue is unearthing a much bigger issue. It's not even music anymore. It's not even patois or reggae music anymore. It's unearthing a much bigger issue. And this is what I want all of us to examine together, right? So while we do that, I want all of us to keep an open mind because, as I said, me personally, I don't see anything here. But being as certain people that I felt or I feel like would originally know better, right, are also going down that same way, saying, maybe they're not aware that it's an attack. Maybe they just see something and they feel like, oh, let me repost that. Oh, Stone Boy is speaking some patois. And then they go back and dig up Stone Boy with, what you call it, old videos of Stone Boy saying some things and things that, bro, listen. Stone Boy has recorded with Beanie Man, one of reggae's biggest icons. Until when he was recording with Beanie Man didn't understand what he was saying. How did Beanie Man write lyrics to suit what Stone Boy was saying if he didn't understand what he was saying? It'd be some way before me, but we'll be going into it, and I'm trying to get my guest. Soon as I get him, he'll join me to do justice to this thing. But in the meantime, let me set the parameters within which we'll be having discussion. Again, like I'm saying, it's not just reggae music anymore, right? We are going to dig deeper into it. Why is it even important to speak patois to start with? Why? Let's look at that. Why is it important to speak patois? Do you have to speak patois for your reggae music to be reggae music or to be accepted? Steel Pulse, the music that they play with that Is that patois? Even some of Bob Marley's songs, is that patois? Reggae now has gone to the point where it's played universally in all languages imaginable. Are those music reggae music? Can Ghanaians play our music without patois? Jamaican patois, is that possible? Or is Jamaican patois an integral part of the reggae culture, of the reggae body, whereby no matter what you do, an aspect of it will creep in? Is it an incidental? We will be looking at all these things. I really want us to look at these things. But before we do that, no, give me a few minutes. There you go. I think I have my guest right now. But let's see. He is calling back. Let's see if I do have him right now. Empire. Empire. Yes. Empire, we're live on Radio Culture right now. We're I'm airborne already. And we're dealing with the issue of Stone Boy and whether he speaks patois right or wrong. And all the brouhaha, surrounding that issue. First of all, I was given a backstory to this whole thing. And yeah, and this is something that has already come and played out. So all of a sudden it resurfacing. What's up with that? And then the other aspect that I'm looking at is certain people that I thought should be a little bit more. I'm trying to find the word, right? But yeah, certain people that I believe should have been a bit more open-minded. Let me just say, right, to the issue. No, they seem to be going down that same rabbit hole. To me, this presents more than just a music issue. It's not Stone Boy and his music anymore. To me, it has much deeper connotations. This is why I called you yesterday, and I think that I need you to help me break this down to everybody. You gave me some points, but that points, no. I felt like, no, there's more where that came from. So let's, please help me to do this.
Yes,
but let's end the discussion of this way. Empire, why do you think discussion will crampon reignite, and why?
Well, I think give thanks for the reasoning still. Empire, one thing that Babylon, the white man, did when he came to Africa was, to really work on dividing us up, right? Now, when he took some people out of Africa and brought them to the West, he really created in those people a whole disdain, resentment, and hatred for anything that Africa represents, so that those people would never have any desire to even want to go back to Africa. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because even though a lot of us are today saying that, we've emancipated ourselves mentally and we are no longer, subscribing to those kind of thoughts and beliefs. However, those kind of things still persist. So whenever there is anything that will seem to be something that can confirm that kind of rationale why there should be that level of resentment, you see it come back to the surface. Now, for us also in the motherland, the white man also did work on us. Now, so because of that, there is this whole idea that the whole world looks at us as inferior. So anything that comes up to confirm for that, or to make any headway that we are inferior, we also, flare up and react to it, right? So I see both of these things playing out in this whole issue. But as you started out, somebody has an agenda, because when the issue was first presented and when I first saw it, it seemed as if Luciano just went on the airwaves like yesterday or 2 days ago or last week and made the statement, not knowing it was being, recalled from some years ago. Like, as we said, like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. This talk went on, and so somebody has some agenda, of further stoking divisions. Now, as to the extent of the divisions they want stoked, that's yet to be determined, whether it's a local division between Stonebwoy and Shatawale, or between Stonebwoy and Luciano, or between Africans at home and Africans abroad. That remains to be seen. But somebody is pushing this whole thing to foment some kind of division between I and I people, and that's why we always need to be on guard. Right? We need to always be on guard. When things happen, we need to ask, why is this happening? Right? Why is this happening right now? And that's the only conclusion that, why would you bring a news item from about 4 or 5 years ago to the public space today if you don't have an agenda? So somebody has an agenda, somebody's pushing this.
Because it appeared on many social media platforms, and then whoever is up with, to doing that, is digging up videos of Stonebwoy when he was like a teenager, rapping his little patois there and things like that. Like, what's up with that?
And I've also seen some people also digging up Shatawale speaking patois in like a movie and stuff and posted it online to kind of counter the whole thing.
I see. I haven't even seen that.
You're right. So it's like, if Stonebwoy, you accusing Stonebwoy of speaking patois, look, your king also, Shatawale also speaks patois. So I mean, it's a kind of, we have to rise above those kind of things.
So it's not even about just speaking patois. I think that the whole thing is about speaking patois, quote unquote, wrong, right? It's only the next thing I'm a person yesterday, because one of the videos I saw was of Stonebwoy. I think he went live on one of these, their platforms, and he was saying something to some Jamaican girl, some young girl who had come on the platform, and the girl was like, "Your accent different," something along those lines. Because of that, they were like, "Oh, ha 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 ha," again, because we've seen the video of him as a young boy jamming some patois words together. We've seen a video of him on social media much later as a superstar, with some girl telling him, so until you're Kanye, because his accent is different. And now they dig up that story also from Luciano. So it's that's the agenda I'm talking about. Consistent.
Yep, somebody has an agenda.
But
there is nothing wrong with speaking a language with an
Thank you. That's where I wanted us to go next. Yes, please go there for me.
Let me say this. I think that the world is beautiful because of the different accents that we have in the world. And nobody's accent should be put down. Now, if I go and speak, for instance, Mampruli or something, the native Mampruli speaker will pick up from the way I speak, even though I may be an expert speaker. But my intonation, my construction of certain words will give me out as, somebody who learned the language. A
learner of the language,
Absolutely. There is nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
In fact, that needs to be encouraged because we need to learn more languages, right? So if Stonebwoy speaks with an accent, and even the young lady points out that, oh, you do speak with an accent, it should be a thing of joy.
I did not even see that as negative necessarily.
It's not negative at all.
Unless there's more to the video than what I saw. I didn't even see that as negative. She was just pointing out the obvious. Your accent is different. It's your accent, unless Stonebwoy in that video was pretending to be Jamaican. Then there is a problem. Then there is an issue, right, of impersonation or imposterization or whatever.
I didn't see anything like that.
I don't think so at all either.
No, I didn't see anything like that. And I think that somebody is making a big issue out of nothing, right? So, when the young lady says that, it's a thing of a joy. I mean, if you're speaking with an accent, that's great. More people are learning to speak Patois. Everybody is going to come with, a different accent, and that is okay. We sitting here, look, English language that the white man, originated in the Anglo-Saxon islands. Today, there are 63 different varieties of English language around the world. And every part we go, we have people speaking it in a different way. But it's still, communication. We're still being able to communicate and use the language in a manner that needs to be used. So I don't see anything wrong. And we shouldn't also engage in trying to belittle someone's accent, right? And I'm not saying that the young lady did that. I don't think she did it at all. But I think somebody is hiding behind and taking the young lady's words and trying to use that as a form of
same as what happened with Luciano, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because
same thing.
If you listen to the import of what he was saying, he didn't set out to slice Stonebwoy at all. It was an incidental comment that he made about some other point that he was making.
Yeah, but even then, in that same day, he mentioned artists. I believe that he had recently left Ghana and returned to Jamaica. And so he was talking about the music scene in Ghana. So he also mentioned Shatta
Wale as well.
But then it seems that the conversation has, focused more on Stonebwoy than anybody else.
Yeah. That is and to me it's very unfortunate. But like I started by saying, it's unearthed a much bigger problem than anything to do with music. It's showing a very deep crack. And still, some of our brethren, and sistren, they don't want to say that's the issue. They want to still limit it to, it's about Stonebwoy mimicking Patois. No, it's not. To me, the reaction to that is the issue, not him, whatever you try to describe it as.
Let me say something
please,
quick before I forget.
Please.
For years, I've always been amused by how anytime, particularly a Jamaican artist is asked, so how did you get into music? What was your inspiration? Almost to the hilt, they will quote an American artist, like, Otis Redding or the Shy Light,
James Brown.
James Brown or
Barry White.
But somebody other than Jamaican, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that if it is okay for Jamaicans to be inspired
by African Americans
without being called copycats, then there is nothing wrong with Ghanaians.
Bim bam boom! Somebody tweet that. You see, if I had just taken the points you gave me and run off, we would have missed this empire. We would have missed a salient point like this. Please continue for me. And people, let me say, this is, I don't know if I did the introduction self properly because, I was kind of caught in the middle. On the line is Dr. Kojo Oponwadie. We all know him as Wiro I, Rastafari, So, yes. Empire, please, Twasomami.
So, in the same way, I feel like, those few brothers and sisters, in the Western world who are, seeing Stonebwoy as a copycat to some extent are being, disingenuous. And they need to be called out for that.
Now, and a question about what Mr. Mibisai say, ye cabro for na yetia. Nobody has issues with that. In fact, we form a whole other language out of that. Patois itself is an example of that. Right? Pidgin. When we speak, and I'm making right? So why is it okay to speak another language wrong? But it's not okay to speak Patois wrong, even if he was speaking Patois wrong.
Yeah. I think that's neither here or there, right? It's neither here or there. If like I said, one thing about language is how we construct sentences, right? So if I'm very much conversant with Ga, Tree, or I'm used to a certain pattern of constructing sentences.
Structure, yes.
Even if you check, when we go to, for instance, elementary school or secondary school in Ghana back then, and you have to have a whole frame of mind when you're studying English than the frame of mind you use when you're speaking your mother tongue with your mother or whatever.
Absolutely.
So if you are very conversant in certain languages and the way sentences are constructed, every language that you speak, that will also come to bear. So that is not a mistake. It's not something that we should see as speaking a language wrongly. It's bringing your knowledge of how language works to speak a certain.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
There's nothing wrong with that. Even in the British Isles, if you go to England, for instance, somebody in the southern part of England speaks English very differently from somebody in the northern part of England. Right?
Exactly.
And none of them can say that, either way of speaking is correct or is wrong.
Na Empire. Patois nankasa na kra na sem na ye ka no. It has words in it which originally are key words.
Oh yeah. African words.
Many of them.
Yep.
And why is it okay for the language to adopt the words from Africa and not have a reverse effect? Again, why? Osha then 360 out to me say, yeah, but again, we could go on and on and on, and that's but I want us to go on and on because I want us to unearth. Yeah, I want us to unearth some of the absurdity. Some like pidgin English, for instance. Yeah, to me, almost the same as Patois in many ways.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Even some of the words are if you go Nigeria, they talk una.
Yep.
Uno.
Yep.
Same thing. And why
in Ghana we say wana. In
Ghana
we say wana.
Wana.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And so if and I asked the question at the beginning of in my intro and said if Beanie Man and Stonebwoy can write a song together, if did Beanie Man not understand what Stonebwoy was saying? If so, how did he write lyrics to correspond to what Stonebwoy was saying?
Yeah, like I said, I think that somebody is up to something with this whole brouhaha or hula baloo, because there are many instances where, for instance, like Stonebwoy has performed in Jamaica, right? Probably more than one occasion. But the question then is, how many Jamaicans have complained that they don't understand what Stonebwoy says?
There you go.
Probably maybe one, right? So
one. Yeah. All right.
You understand me? Yeah. So I don't think we should make that nobody should give it any credence for ourselves. It's nothing to lose any sleep over.
I think so. I think so too. But young call the actual issue, Nemo, if you will, because beyond the music and all of that, we are seeing a certain and I'm going by the reaction of some of our repatriated, our lost and found, brethren and sisters, and the commentary that they are putting on social media and stuff. And to me, it's very worrying because they seem to be tagging along with whatever whoever set off that agenda, set out to achieve. Because they now all of a sudden they are saying things like, or copy Jamaica folk accent now. It's not good and all of these things. And if you dig beyond that now, what you say, it's not even about the music. It's about a certain, what's the word again?
Mindset.
Please say that again. Mindset. A certain mindset, and also a certain, you're kind of saying, word but a question more. Entitlement is the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
A certain entitlement, we say, okay, it's okay for us to claim repatriation is a must. I'm going there. This is something we'll be discussing on our other platform, Empire. But I'm going there right now because, to me, if you scratch off all this whimsical nonsense about Stone Boy mimicking Patois, that is what I see at the base of it. Right. We have a certain mindset, say, some group of people can have the entitlement to say, okay, we deserve a part of Africa because we are from Africa. That's true. But if you deserve a part of Africa, now part of Africa yes, they're entitled to that.
Right.
We can't share an accent. It's not even a language, let's face it.
Yeah.
Patois is not a language.
Well, it is a language, Empire.
Nana, it's a language based off of another language, which is not, yet we as Africans.
But, the reason why I'm saying it's a language is because more time, Babylon likes to distinguish our languages and call them dialects.
Okay.
Even though
I hear you on that. But why I mention Kasa say Senka a language be based off Yankasa ye no more. I would easily accept that more as a language rather than a language that was based off of. It's to me it's like Afrikaans, but let's leave that on the side. We were digressing.
Okay.
But if you have a point on that, I'll make it for me, please.
Yeah. The point I'm making is that the structure of Patois is totally African. The way sentences are constructed, everything is a totally African framework.
All right.
That has been imposed on English, Irish kind of
language. Using those kind of all right. And let's accept that. Now you're upgrading it to a full-blown language. So you can't share a language with us, but we have to share the land, we have to share the resources, we have to share everything with you. Empire, you know about Ahimfo, any Ahima or Africa, Ghana, for instance, you say they are ready to give land to people who are ready to repatriate.
Right.
And then we can't, if we even try to speak, and again, another point I raised is this, Empire. Is it a sin for us to try to reach out and communicate? Are our brothers trying to speak like us? When they speak Patois,
true.
But we are trying to communicate by trying to learn the way they speak so we can communicate. Is that wrong?
No.
Pacho, pick that up for me.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that first of all, I want to make a point. Like when people were taken out of Africa, a part of Africa was also taken away from Africa. Now, in order for Africa to be whole again, let me borrow Trump's "Make America Great Again."
Make Africa whole again.
Make Africa whole again. In order for Africa to be whole again, the part that was taken out needs to be also reintegrated. By that I mean that when it comes to the matters of language, all those languages need to be brought back. And when we say bringing back a language, it doesn't mean that, for instance, when you take the language of Suriname or Martinique, for instance, only those people in those places should speak those languages.
Yes.
No, people in Africa on the motherland should also learn to speak those languages. When they learn to speak those languages, they are going to bring their accents, they are going to bring what they know about speaking languages to bear on those languages. And as we discussed earlier on, there is nothing wrong with that, right? So I think it's all for the better, actually. I mean, I think more people should be encouraged rather than discouraged to learn to speak, what I would refer to as, African-inspired Caribbean languages for better communication between those at home and those abroad.
Empire, Ufu say, sir, in the face of all this, we should just maybe forget it all and just speak our language and call it a day. Maybe we should just revert and start singing Patois and things. I mean, pidgin and things, because after all, our brethren and sisters are saying, say, they like us better when we sing that.
There's a room for all that, right, Rasta. I think that there's a room for everything. I mean, first of all, let's be clear. Not everybody who is in the West here is in agreement with those ones who are saying that copycat this and that. Some of them are making the same kind of arguments that you and I are making, right? But we also have to understand that there's room for everything. These are all resources. Pidgin is a resource, right? We should be able to sing in Pidgin and Patois at the same time.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's a beauty. We are showing the variety of resources that we have. We want to be able to sing in Cree. That is an asset. We want to be able to sing in Dagara. That's an asset. We want to be able to sing in our African languages while simultaneously singing in Patois. So I think all those are assets. And I think for those of us on the motherland, we have to make use of all these assets, right? In the musical space. So we should see them as assets rather than as liabilities.
Liabilities. Okay. So I hear you saying, say, and yet everybody in the Western or more feel it that way and all of that. But unfortunately, it's also a fact, say, there's quite a constituency who feel that way, and it's not just even about the accent, it's also about the music when it comes to reggae music. And that's another thing that's a very sensitive area to touch, but we will have to touch it because the problem is that we're not able to have frank discussions. So for years and years and years into the next generation, we have the same discussions because the discussions are never resolved. We are not frank about the discussions. Truth of the matter is that our brothers who own, and our sisters, own, right? The genre, the language, the lingo, the whatever, they are very comfortable with everybody else using it except for Africans. Have you noticed this, Muro?
Well, that's a tough
You can't answer this one without because there's a in there.
Yeah. The thing is, we have to know history of certain things, Rasta. Now, sometimes even reggae artists and stuff don't know the history of reggae a lot. Most of the time, they think that Europe and America is the one that picked up reggae or whatever, but fail to realize that reggae, Africa played a huge part in the rise of reggae.
Absolutely.
Let me give you a little background in this. Those companies which began promoting reggae, for instance, EMI, I'm talking about companies like Virgin, right? Those companies came up initially with an idea. Why don't we take this music out of Jamaica and sell it to the brothers and sisters of Jamaicans on the African continent, right? So because of that, you had EMI, Virgin, all these companies were in Africa in the 1970s. So that's why when we were young, if you would remember, we always had these cassette tapes, for instance, with Dennis Brown, Errol Dunkley. We had the Pioneers. We had the Maytones. Bob Marley.
Burning Spear.
Most of them were coming out of places such as Nigeria because those companies were based in these countries, such as Nigeria and other African countries. And what they were doing
and knowledge.
They were manufacturing. They were bringing the masters from Jamaica and bringing the music and copying it onto cassettes and then distributing it throughout the whole Africa.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is that Africa has contributed significantly,
immensely,
to not only the rise of reggae, but also to
the sustenance,
the sustenance, right, of reggae. Now, bring it forward to today. So nobody can sit in the West and say somebody born in Africa should not be playing reggae. That is absurd. That is insane, right? I think that, people born in Africa should be encouraged to play reggae. And you know what? To be fair, some reggae artists born in the motherland have been greatly, received.
Yes.
Jamaica, right?
Yep.
I'm looking at someone like Lucky Dube.
Lucky Dube was very much.
When he went to Jamaica, for instance, and performed, they called for encore 3 times. Now, and that's also because his music was very.
And to have a Jamaican artist cover him, right? Junior Reid did
absolutely.
That's extremely flattering.
Right, absolutely. Now, even bringing it a little closer to home, Rusanabo, 1994, I believe, was
Reggae Sunsplash.
Very well received at Reggae Sunsplash as well. So the point I'm making is that there are some elements who think that reggae should be owned. Let me use that word, owned by Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Now the trick is that if you want that, if you really want reggae to be owned by only Jamaicans, then that means that the reggae should be confined to the island of Jamaica.
Interesting.
Right. The moment it comes out, understand that it's going to inspire somebody else.
Yes.
To also produce such works.
Yes.
We have seen it in Africa right now. We've had Lucky Dube, we've had Alpha Blondie, we've had Tiken Jah Fakoly. We have all these artists who have taken reggae and made it something on a global stage. And that is also good for reggae. It's also good for Jamaica. It's good for Mali. It's good for Burkina Faso. It's good for the entire Black world. So I think that the more we see ourselves as one people who are mutually benefiting from these occurrences, the better it will be for all of us. Now, let's take a music genre such as High Life. High Life started in Ghana, right? But then it spread across the West African coast. Nigerians were playing High Life and became very good at it. Sierra Leoneans were playing it, Liberians were playing it, and even South Americans play High Life. They love it and they play it. Like you said, that is something that is flattering. That's something that is.
It is.
And if a South American plays on stage a Jedouble Ambule song, they are also introducing Jedouble Ambule to
their audience.
And then Jedouble Ambule stands to benefit. When Jedouble Ambule benefits, Ghana benefits. When Ghana benefits, Africa benefits. And the whole African world benefits. So I think that we should come out of this myopic way of looking at things to focus on particular locations and particular locales. And begin to look at things more with a broader perspective and looking at it from a more wider African, perspective.
All right. So I still want to look a little closer at why you think the owners, let's just say that the owners of the genre don't have a problem with anybody else playing the genre except their own brothers.
Well, that goes back to what I started with Empire. It's all the work that Babylon has done on us, right? You know, so for instance, this work that Babylon has done on us makes it so that as soon as your own brother do something, it becomes a big issue. Meanwhile, it's like, let me take for an example. A Ghana man go fit day here where a warrior man come Ghana. In fact, let me give a very good example. A Ghana man go day here where a Nigerian man come Ghana, come set up shop. A white man go fit come set up the same shop. And they sell the same things. The Ghana man find it difficult to attack the white man, but I find it easier to attack the Nigerian man.
Yeah.
It's because of that mentality that they worked on us to the extent that when something happens, we see the for the lack of a better word, the enemies to be our own people more than them.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that same mentality where it makes a gentleman of Germany who sing reggae in German Patois and nobody complains of his accent.
There you go.
And then when that happens here, it's a problem. So we have to really be conscious of these things and also work hard. Even if we claim, say, we've emancipated ourselves from mental slavery, be very conscious of the ways in which mental slavery manifests itself. And these are typical ways. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have some level of suspicion among us, and we should really.
And that is the point. That's what the white man did to us.
Yes.
Divide and rule.
Yes.
That divide and rule creates that level of suspicion, right? Yes. Whereby, if you play the reggae, then be like, weird.
Yeah.
If Kwesi play the reggae now, they mean say they go take the power away. Me, I know go get the bread and butter where they chop every day. But
because I've seen
that's even a false premise. That's even a false premise. Because if Kwesi they play the reggae, Kwesi is also opening new boundaries, new borders, and contributing to the genre, making it better, more popular, and by extension, you also getting more gigs or whatever because uncharted territory has been now charted by Kwesi, and now you also go for coming. You know what I'm saying?
Because if somebody says, let's go to a reggae concert, right? Oh, which artist is playing? Then they mention some artists where you don't know. But you still will go because it's a reggae concert. So, say you're going to get some reggae music. So it's, just to buttress what you were saying.
I know, this week I saw something. That's like 3 or 4 days ago. This new song by Bob Marley's grandson, YG Marley, which is kind of making waves among the young people. Right?
Yeah, my 10-year-old is all hooked on to that song. It's crazy.
So Burna Boy went on stage. He was performing at a Glastonbury festival in UK, right? And he did a remix of that song, right, on stage. Now, why am I bringing this in? Even though that song is already making waves, when Burna Boy, with his crowd,
touched it, it brings it to a new, it brings a song to a new hemisphere.
Absolutely, he's introducing the song to a whole different demographic, a whole different population, right? With a whole twist that he brought on to the song. So if you look at it that way, we all stand to benefit as opposed to lose. And nobody's losing.
It's just like Angelique Kidjo and Ziggy Marley. Angelique Kidjo has a song that I love very much. It's called Sejedo.
Right. Oh, I love that song too. That's a traditional African song.
Exactly. And then she collaborated with Ziggy Marley and see what came out. So
a beautiful
thing. And I think that's where our mind should be at, rather than all the nonsense that's going on about somebody speaking Patois and somebody all of these things.
We bury that kind of thinking,
absolutely. Empire, thank you so very much. Before we go, let me just get some words of wisdom from you on the way forward. In the music, Matisse, as you say, some of the Jamaican artists are actually also playing Afro beats.
True.
And I haven't heard any African complain about that, have you, Wiro?
Yes.
Not
Because
at all.
you know what?
We actually feel flattered that they are playing Afro beats.
Absolutely.
You know.
In fact, even years ago, I want to say maybe like 3 years ago, Morgan Heritage came out with a whole Afrobeat inspired album.
There you go.
You understand what I'm saying?
There
It's
you
a
go.
good thing for Afrobeat. You know, Morgan Heritage is introducing this genre of music to its hearts of fans around the world. So for me, Tony Rebel said something. He said, the cake is so big, everybody go get a slice. There's no need for any quabbling or anything like that. The cake is so big that we go chop the slices on and on and on and on and over and over.
And you know the
again.
thing
So
with
I
this
think that-
particular cake is that the more we partake of it, it's like rather adding yeast to it because it will rather increase.
Grow them more.
For more people to come and chop too, So
they add yeast and palm oil and everything.
Everything, Empire, I'll send you some video. When you get time, watch it. That your man for Aputioja. You remember your man for Aputioja?
Yeah, Aputioja,
Yeah. When I was in Ghana, I went to go make some ital fufu in his house.
Wow.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. Ital Bokasi. People go check it out. Aputioja fufu. Empire. Give thanks every time. No. Give thanks, bro. We will meet very shortly on the other show.
Yes, I.
Blessed love. Every time. Give thanks.
True. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Under the sun we walk.
Dr. Kujo Oponwadie, aka Wiro Aya. My guest today on Reggae Reverbs. As we did justice to that subject. Stoneboy, Eka Patois. May whether we understand it or not. Stoneboy is not here to teach me Patois. Stoneboy is here to communicate. So whatever he says, if I catch one line of it and it makes sense and I can groove to that, and I think that's what a lot of people are connecting with. Otherwise, how do we even listen to music? Those times, let's face it, people. When we used to listen to Alpha Blondy, how many of us understood what he was saying? Sebe alaye se. What was he saying? But Alpha Blondy was huge in Ghana, wasn't he? And across the world, how many people know what he's saying? Tikan Jaffa Kole, one of the hottest reggae artists on the African continent. When he sings, what is he saying? Most of what he's saying. Yet we groove to his music, don't we? In Ghana, dear Charlie, we have to hack our own down. Me personally, I've met Stoneboy once, and I liked his personality. All right. So when I saw this attack on him, I felt like, what is going on? Is there something that I'm not aware of? Is it so terrible that people would set out to denigrate him like that? It's unfortunate. If you have anything against Stoneboy, I'm not Stoneboy's spokesperson. I'm not his defender, but I am somebody who is here to tell you that we do not care whether he speaks Patois or not. All we care is that he's making good music, and we love it. My name, Cha Beloved, United. I'm out like a light.
Cha Beloved at the control, spinning vibes oh so cold. Feel the rhythm deep in soul. Selector never growing old. Bassline thumping, we unite. roots and culture every night. Sound systems taken
Radio culture, culture,
best around. Every truth is a sacred